It is April 1st. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's pretty nice out. So I'm going to get potatoes in the ground. My goal was the end of March. That didn't happen because it ended up snowing one more time. But everything I've read said it's okay to plant my potatoes now. So I'm just going to do it. And so I'm also going off this book, The Encyclopedia of Country Living by Carla Emery. And she just lays out everything you could ever need for being self-sufficient at your home. And so I'm just going off her section on potatoes. And so she says to plant them 6 inches apart. And let me find this again. In rows that are about 2.5 feet apart. I'm not even sure if I need multiple rows because I bought Yukon Golds, I bought russet and reds, and the reds have all rotted since I purchased them, which is annoying. So I don't know if any of those are getting in the ground. And then I've got sweet potatoes, so I might just do, depending on the spacing, 1 or 2 rows of normal potatoes, and then a little area of sweet potatoes. Sorry, my son is in a swing. I'm going to go push him. I might have to pop in and out of screen to keep him happy. It's almost nap time, so we're just trying to make it there. All right. So I'm doing a bit of an experiment because I've got Yukon Gold I purchased. And then I also have ones from the grocery store that I've seeded. So I'm just going to see if these grow. They say not to, but I don't really care. I'm going to do it anyway. And this has a little measurer on it. So I'm just going to use that. So the first ones back here, those are going to be the grocery store potatoes. I'm going to steal dirt. I'm probably going to have to lay more topsoil on this. And this book said you could plant them 6 to 18 inches apart, but she said she always plants them 6 inches apart, so I'm going to do that because I'm low on space. Hold on, gotta push the baby again. Oh, let's do 4 grocery stores. These clumps are not doing me any favors. Okay. Well, let's just take Yukons together. I bought 2 of these and a whole bag of them nearly rotted also. I'm not thrilled. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this whole bag is just like mushy, rotten, nasty. I'm gonna skip that one. So I wasted my money on that. And then we've got 5 that I bought at the store. Let's put these 2 little guys together. I don't know. Okay, potatoes. So we got this as potatoes, and then we just have only 2 sweet potato seeds. So what I read in Carla's book was that you plant them with the root going down, and then half of the potato part still poking up out of the ground. We'll see. Let's put these, for no reason at all, up in this corner. Okay, who knows? So we got a bunch of Yukon Golds. Now I don't even think I have russets. I think that was all Yukon Golds. And then sweet. I think the russets must have rotted in that bag. Okay. Yukon Golds, 2 sweet potatoes. Okay, the first thing of the season is in the ground. That's a great feeling. Let's see how it goes.
Mine shows us very good.
We're gonna keep doing these. Can you pull that
This.
one? That one. Nope. Get that one. Can you pull this one? Yep.
Let's pull tiny one.
Can you pull this little one right there?
No, muddy hand.
You don't want me to get muddy hands? Okay, can you grab that?
Let's do
Okay,
tiny.
then look. How many are in here?
Is them
Yep. Alright. Now how many are in this one?
2.
Count again.
2.
Count again. How many?
2. 3.
Yes. Okay, how many should be in there? How many do we want? We only want 1. So can you take out 2?
2 more.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna steal some more dirt. Okay. Are there any other ones that have too many?
Let's do this one. Let's do the
Can you look at this one? How many are in there?
B.
We are in my garage today, and it is April 4th, so we're about a month out from my last frost day because I'm in zone 5, and so we have a lot more seeds we need to get started today. And my plan, I've stuck with it pretty good, the plan I showed in my garden plan seed starting video. I got potatoes in a couple days ago. This is my broccoli, and it's doing really good, but I'm feeling like it's going to start to have a hard time supporting itself in these little containers. So these will move out to the garden pretty soon because they do fine in cold weather, according to the package. So hopefully that goes well. And so today I'm debating starting my carrots because this package says sow seeds outdoors 3 to 4 weeks before last spring frost. So I might just put these like straight into the ground this week since we're nearing 4 weeks from last frost. So I don't think I'll start the carrots today. I think it'd just be easier to put them right into the ground. And other things, I definitely need to start kale today because this says start indoors 6 to 8 weeks before last frost. So we're a little behind on that. So we're gonna start our kale today. And we'll get going with that first. I'm gonna, 1, 2, 3. I'll probably give myself 5 kales because I am fine freezing that because we use it in smoothies and soups and other things like that. And so I'm pretty happy with how this broccoli turned out. My son and I went through and thinned it maybe a week ago. And so I would say almost every seed I put in did good. So this is telling me to do a 1/4 inch deep. So I'm just kind of doing just like the tip of my finger in there. And I am kind of proud of myself because in the past I've just been overzealous to start seeds indoors. And I start all of them like when I start getting like spring fever with like early March. And so I've held off, which is good because I just started way too early. Then they get crazy indoors. I'm moving them into bigger containers, and it's just out of control. So I am proud of that. Let's label this kale. I'll put a pencil somewhere here. That's my kale. And then next on my list here, lettuce I won't start until mid-April. And my herbs, a lot of my herbs I can get going. So I'm going to do dill, rosemary, oregano, thyme. And maybe I'll probably get my whole thing of dill and probably just one of each herb because it gets so big. And I'm not going to start basil yet because the basil, it said sow outdoors when soil is warm and temp does not drop below 65. So there's still some time left for that. But I suppose I guess I could start that one indoors. I just don't want it to go crazy before I can move it out. So I'll just wait. But since we're planning on making pickles of my dill here, we'll go ahead and start the dill. I need to fill up these soil cups a little more. I still haven't invested in a better watering can yet, so they're kind of a mess getting these water cups, okay? You can see how dry the rest of that soil is because nothing's been in it for like the past 3 weeks. And what I read about transferring broccoli is it told me to transfer it when it's about 4 weeks old, or each plant has 3 to 4 leaves. So there's one here that has 4 leaves on it. The rest have 2 leaves. But it's just they're getting so tall and just I think they're just having a hard time being supported when there's not much space for their roots to go. So and since they're fine with cold weather and we're getting more and more into April, I think I'll be fine putting them in the ground this week. So I could put those in the ground this week, and I could put carrots in the ground this week. I'll probably just put those in on the same day. Okay, let's do a whole dill. And this package of dill got wet with it's confusing, but it's like I had this package of seed potatoes that rotted. In another video, I showed some that were rotten. It was just this pack of red potatoes that were just like bad from the get-go. And so they like just saturated this package of dill I had. And when I noticed it, I dumped them out and I tried to dry them out. And so hopefully they look okay, like none of them sprouted. So I think I saved them before anything went really wrong. Let's label this dill. So then the other herbs we have to get started. Rosemary, oregano, thyme, and cilantro. Let's just do one of each. Because I don't have a ton of room for herbs in my garden, but I was just gonna have one row of them, just of all the herbs like together. So I could just grab them whenever I wanted to. So that's rosemary. So this rosemary said So indoors, quarter-inch beneath the surface, 8 to 12 weeks before last frost. So I'm a little behind on that, but I think it'll be okay. Oregano said 6 to 8 weeks before last frost. These are so tiny. The oregano ones are just minuscule. Hope they do anything. I can't even see them. So that was the oregano. I'll go ahead and label that. And I think that's the end of the labels that came with this set. The time. They're just so tiny. I was going through and thinning out my sisters, and there's a few rogue carrots that gotten into like the jalapeno area, and I was like, I don't even remember that happening, but they're crazy little things. Okay. That was thyme we just did. And then we'll do cilantro. And I was looking into peas, and I think I may just start the peas outdoors as well, because that's what the package suggested, and it said that peas like cold weather and a trellis, and they said they recommend putting it at the back of your garden. So I think the back of my garden, kind of by our house, is where I'll put the peas, and they said do a row on each side of a trellis. Okay, we have a friend here with us who woke up from his nap. He's gonna help us as long as it works out. Okay, back on track. That was the cilantro. So I'm gonna start checking off things. I got dill done, rosemary, oregano, thyme, and cilantro. I got the kale in. Lettuce we're waiting. Peas I'm just gonna put outside. So I think there'll be a day this week that I can put out carrots, broccoli, peas, if I'm not misspeaking at the moment. And then tomato. Yeah, it's tomatoes. Let's see, tomatoes can go in. Yep, that's 6 weeks before last frost, so that's totally fine. 6 weeks, 6 weeks. Okay, we can do tomatoes. So we have these smaller tomatoes, and then we have an Amish paste. And I think I want to do quite a bit of each because I can always have these in like containers, like pots, if I don't have enough room in the garden. So we've got tomatoes to start, peppers to start, and spinach, and then watermelon, I think, with the balance. I think I gave away the package because it's loose watermelon seeds. I'll have to look up what the watermelon is. Okay. And then my peppers say 8 weeks before. It's jalapeno, 8 weeks before. Bell pepper, 8 weeks. So let's just get these tomatoes and peppers started. And we have the last things that, let's check on spinach. Spinach says plant outdoors April to May. So I think I will wait a bit and do the spinach perhaps with the rest of those. Okay, we'll wait on spinach. I need to make notes of this. Wait on lettuce, we'll go later. Okay, so I think since the rest of those things are going to either get directly planted outside, or what's the situation with beans? Outdoors. Okay, I think I might give myself as many tomatoes as I can if I wanted to try having an abundance of tomatoes. So I think I'll do, let's try 6 of the small plants. And we'll see how it goes. You don't need tomato seeds. You don't need it. I have 10 cells left over, and I got bell pepper and jalapeno. So maybe I'll do 5 bell pepper, 1 jalapeno, and then 1 more of each herb. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Let's label these, buddy. Where'd my pencil go? Thank you for your help. You want one of those? I think he's looking at our bikes hanging on the ceiling of the garage. And this will be bell. And then one jalapeno there. And then we'll start repeating herbs. Okay. So I got the 2 Amish bell pepper. Okay. 10 for bell pepper, buddy. 10 for bell pepper. What do you think? I think one of the things I struggle with is, like, you see all these people with these gigantic gardens and they're growing such an abundance of food, and like, well, that would totally be my dream. I just would love the idea of growing like food for my family for like a year, and we can just provide for us that way. That would be so cool. We just don't have that kind of space, and so like sometimes I'm like thinking about the small seed tray I have going, but you know what? We're already blessed abundantly by having 10 broccoli plants. Like, that's 10 more than we had before I planted those in there. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. It's a huge gift. Okay, so we got peppers in, I got the jalapenos in, and now we're gonna do more herbs. I'm out of labels. Oh, I found 2 on the ground. Okay, rosemary, oregano, thyme, cilantro. Let's sort these. So now we have 4. Rosemary. And I've got cinnamon rolls going inside, so I probably have it. Oh, I already labeled rosemary. We got cinnamon rolls going inside. So I also have to get back in there and deal with that. That's going to be our dinner tonight. I kind of made a challenge for myself to only grocery shop once this month. At the start of the month, I was like, let's see if I can do it. And so, okay, switch. Switch. So I'm picking that up from Walmart today. Well, actually, my husband's picking it up from Walmart today because he has to go into town today. And so I'll film that and like kind of my plan for dinner. I find out what dinners we have and how I could. And how I could like make double of something and then freeze it and use that later in the month. Okay, we don't play with plastic cups. That's like the #1 rule of parenting. I just did the cilantro because I was on top and there's only 2 left, so I got that over with. And now we're gonna do the last rosemary. We're quickly losing it here. I know. Rosemary. Okay, 2 more. We can do it. We can do it. 2 more. Just gonna do a little dump. Hope some made it in there. I think someone in. Can't really see. Okay. Thank you for your help, buddy. I could not have done this without you. I love that back. Okay, can you guys? But you know what? It's in. It's labeled. We did it. I'll water it later.